Hello, it's me, Karina, and today we're going to be discussing how to leverage online to make a side income or start a completely different business. If you're on my channel, you know that I do videos about Amazon FBA all the time, and maybe you know the business model well, maybe you don't, but this is going to be a good refresher with some tips, and I'm going to explain the entire private label Amazon FBA business model from start to finish. I have my cup of coffee here for you, for me, maybe you have one too. Has some oat milk, which is delicious, but I'm just going to explain everything. What private label is, how to do this. So honestly, buckle up. This might be quite a long video. I try to keep my videos shorter, maybe like 10 to 20 minutes on the average, but this one is gonna be long because we have a lot to cover. And why am I covering this? Well, in light of everything that is going on, there is a lot of more interest in external sources of income, and this has been around for quite some time. The more years go by, the more people think it's more difficult to enter. They think it's more competitive, that they need a more higher investment, that they need business partners, anything. But that's simply not true. When I started Amazon FBA, I believe I started with 200 units, and that was very, very low risk for me. Now, when I started it, people were saying that you have to launch using all these technical strategies and basically spending a lot of money. But you know what? I didn't really believe in that. I knew always that this could be done low risk, and I did it that way. And ever since then, I've launched many products, very low risk, very low startup costs. And that's what I'm trying to teach you today. Exactly how to do private label, what it is. No, it's not going to be putting weird shampoos in your basement or anything like that. And especially with a twist of how to do it in a very unique way where you don't have to have that much high expenses. So you're very secure and confident when you're starting this. So let's break this down. I know there's a lot of businesses out there. You've probably seen a lot of ads on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. And sometimes that could put you off a little bit just because it seems like everyone is teaching something new, okay? So I'm not here to tell you that you're going to completely change your life in a month or in a week. Those horizons are possible, but this is something that requires work. It's something that requires brain power. You will have roadblocks, but it is fun. It's fun and it works, and you can do it, okay? So how this works is it's Amazon FBA private label business model. Amazon is a giant, as you know. You're not Jeff Bezos, right? But what you can do is leverage their millions of customers. So they have people already, you shop at Amazon, I shop at Amazon. We know specifically what we want. People are going on there specifically to buy products. They're typing in a keyword. They're seeing their options. They pick one, they buy it, right? That's basically what it is. And the thing is, when you go onto Amazon, for example, I'm on Amazon right now. If this was interactive, you could tell me a product, but let's go with something as potato cooker. Don't ask, that's the first thing that popped into my head, right? So this is a potato cooker. So you see all of this, actually they're quite different, right? So let's think of this as an example. Whatever this is, I did not even know that was a thing. Usually I just put my potatoes on a foil, but I guess we're getting advanced. So this is something that is not patented. So usually people think that to make your own product, you have to go through these hoops and go through these hurdles and get approval from a lot of places and on the legal aspect of things. But if you're worried about the legal aspect of things, really put that aside. That is the least of your concerns, because in the grand scheme of things, to test this, it's really easy. The thing is, most of the sellers, over 50% of sellers on Amazon that you see, are people that are third-party sellers, such as me, which means we don't even have to have a company. We can just work as a sole proprietor, which means working and doing business as yourself. You don't even need to get registered or anything. So anyone can put this product up with these prongs or this hot dog cooker. Granted, some products are patented, but it's very limited. So most of these sellers are just people like you and me. So what makes them special, right? Why is this any different? If you just put this on, will it work? Will you get sales? Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, right? You want to see value. It's all about value. How much value can you add to a product that's kind of already in existence to make yourself stand out so people prefer your product over anything else. We're going to talk about how to actually get to this page 1, because if you're not on page 1, you're basically non-existent, right? If you're looking for a potato cooker and if things are relatively the same, there's going to be very little incentive for you to go to page 2 or 3 or 7, because why? You have everything you need here. So the goal is to actually get your product to this first page. Everything else is quite simple. I will tell you that finding a product to kind of create this way is going to be the most difficult aspect, and it's not necessarily creating it in a sense of manufacturing it or even getting it to the first page, but it's actually seeing the statistics and knowing that this is going to do well if you do launch it. So in this case, how do we know that this is going to do well? How do we know that we should go for potato cooker versus a coffee cup or a pair of glasses, right? There's just, if you think about it, there's millions and millions of products. And I don't want you to think that anything on Amazon just works, because it doesn't. It's very specific what you have to look for, right? And I'm gonna teach you exactly how to do it, exactly how to do it low risk. But essentially what we're doing here is private labeling. Private labeling / white labeling is we're putting our name on something that's already in existence. To be honest, there is literally probably hundreds of factories, hundreds of thousands in the world producing this one product, whether they are China-based, Vietnam-based, Korea-based, US-based, India-based, Pakistan-based. Every country has factories. China is a main source for producing these products, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Most of the things come from China, and just because they come from there does not mean it's bad. You just have to make sure to go out of your way to ensure that the product you are actually sourcing and your supplier is a high quality supplier. China has really, really good quality goods, but you just have to pay the slightly higher price to make sure that they're not kind of making the inventory less quality, right? So we'll talk about that later, right? So let's just first, I'm gonna try to make this video, by the way, less than an hour or an hour about. Hopefully I'll get there. If not, maybe this will be 2 parts. I'm gonna do my best to explain this to you and really make you motivated to do this. And again, I really want to stress, I'm not telling you you need hundreds and thousands of dollars, or buying a warehouse or all these licenses or investing into inventory. This is going to be very, very simple, and you just have to have the desire and interest enough to want to try this, because I was so excited when I found out about this. I thought there's no way that this cannot work, and it did work, right? It's amazing. I think it's so much fun. So let's talk about how to find these products. Don't just make something up. If you do come across something really random and interesting, that's kind of the direction you want to go to. Maybe you can do the analysis on this, right? So that's what we want to do, is we call it product research. That's what it's known in the community. I like to refer to it more as market research, just because just one product selling isn't enough. You want to make sure that the entire market is a strong market. So let me actually break this business model down for you really quickly so you know what we have in store today for the video. We're going to talk about, of course, finding the product, so the market research that I just mentioned. That's very important. How to do that with all the statistics, everything, how to validate the product. Then we're going to talk about how to actually source the product from China, how to contact your suppliers, how to get all that information, then how to create these photos, these nice looking photos without spending too much money, and to make it actually look appealing, how to create the entire listing, which is the title, the bullets. So when someone clicks on it, let's click on this one for example, you see here it all looks nice and coherent. This is actually the easy part. Some people might have issues with pictures, we'll talk about that too, and then also we'll talk about all the description, how to compose this, and how to ship the product in, and then actually how to rank on the first page in a low risk way. So how do we end up over here, right? That's gonna be in store. So let's actually talk about product research, and we'll use this product as an example. There are so many ways to actually find these products. There's no magic form. You just have to know how to do it. I have a lot of information about how to do this. Members of my private label club, which you can go to theplclub.com, we have a whole entire product research vault and other deep product analysis. So it's literally hours and hours long, so it's going to be hard to actually summarize them in this one video, but just bear with me. And if you want more information, you can become a member of theplclub.com at theplclub.com and then see more information there, right? So here we are on this product. So how do we know if this is something that actually sells well? thankfully there are tools that help us out. They're beginning to be more and more advanced, which is great. So let's look at this tool right here. It's called Helium 10. Right now, I just literally put in a completely random product, and it's going to give me all these numbers, all these statistics, and don't worry about this, right? We're just looking for certain things. I'm gonna break it down. You will get easier at analyzing this with time. So let's think about this. We got to this product. We're thinking, okay, hypothetically, if I'm able to get this product, let's say average price right here is $13. Let's say I get it from China for, including shipping, for $5. That leaves me about $8 to $9 of margin if I sell this, right? So that's not bad. Every sale you make, you can get $8 to $9 in your pocket. And then you have to counter, okay, I'm gonna put some of that money, let's say 50%, let's say $4 is going to go back into ads to rank this product further and to also kind of get more sales, hopefully, and then you'll get more money back. So you're still left with a profit and you have enough margin to grow this product more, meaning you can reorder without running into cash flow issues, you can put more money back into PPC, things like that. I've seen a lot of unrealistic videos that show a product that's like $30 and they go to Alibaba and or like the China sourcing, I'll show you in a little bit, and they say, oh, you can source this product for $2, so you're making like a $20 profit. I want to be as realistic as possible with you. It's not that easy. You're not going to be seeing crazy margins like $50 for a $60 product. But if you do the calculations enough, you will have enough margin to sustain this product, to put money back into your pocket, or to reinvest it into the business, and that's how you grow and scale. And you will see results, okay? So let's look at this here. What are we looking for first and foremost, okay? We're looking for the revenue. So we want this product to actually get sales. If this product, like right here, this is by the way for a month. So this is software, super helpful. It's Helium 10. I have a discount for it. If you use Karina 50, you get 50% off for the first month, and Karina 10 will give you 10% off every single month. So here we are, we look at this revenue, and it's not that stable, right? But we want to make sure that the entire market is selling well. Say this seller right here, number 8, this cooker, which is actually more expensive probably than everything else. Yeah, it's like $42. Say we find this product and we see that it's selling $121,000. Are we going to say, great, now if I launch this exact same product, I will also be making $121,000 in sales? That's where people go wrong, because if you look at this market, that's not how it is. There's different products and they're doing less than that, way less than that. You want to make sure that the entire market is stable. Like, let's say doing $5,000, $10,000 a month, somewhere in that range, right? But all of them want to be stable. You also don't want the market to all be this high. I know making 6 figures a month sounds great, but also you have to recognize, to get to the actual first page, which we'll talk about a little bit more later, you have to match the velocity of all of the other sellers, which means if they're all doing 100 grand a month, how in the world do you expect to do that amount as well when you are a new time seller? It's going to be very difficult, right? So that's not something we want to do. We want something a little bit low risk. So even though you want the 6 figures, I would really suggest aiming for 5,000, for 10,000, for 15,000, in those types of revenue ranges. But you want it to be stable. Let's say at least 7 people out of 10 are doing those types of numbers. I know this might be overwhelming. This might be looking at numbers too much, but in all reality, this is something that's going to help you. And I'm not just trying to hype you up by showing you these great margins and calculations, because that's actually what's going to hurt you when you get all hyped up and then you look in these high risk markets and then launch a product, spend a lot of money, can't rank it, and fail and get discouraged. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible with you, and also doing it more conservatively, just because I want you, I want more people to take action on this and to actually implement things like that, right? So here's the revenue. Right here, this market, I don't personally like it, just because it doesn't seem stable to me. One person is doing 5,000, one is doing 10, next one is below 2, 5,000, 1,000. I would like to see them more all consistent. And the reason for that is because if I personally launch a product to get to this page, I want to know that when I fit into any of these, that I will be good as well. Not based of the fact that one product is popular or a few people are doing well. Because why are they doing well? Maybe they're running external traffic. Maybe they have an audience from another place. We want to make sure that it's all even within Amazon, right? So that's kind of why this is important. Next, I glance over at the reviews. Reviews. Amazon is such a social proof, social reliance business model. If everyone on here has thousands of reviews, don't even think about competing with the product, right? Because customers will see that. If you're a person, let's say with 78 reviews, as this person is here, and everyone else has thousands, they would never buy your product. You want to make sure you're on the competition level. And that means the thing with reviews is I'm not as conservative as some people are with the review count, because I've competed with higher reviews because of the quality of my product, because I added value with my product. So I was able to actually compete with products in the high hundreds, right? Like 500, 700 reviews. Now that's a little too high still, but some would look at this and say the reviews are too high. In my opinion, this is something you can compete with, right? I like to see a few sellers under 100. So that are doing well, right? Not just not doing well. If this person isn't doing well relative to the market, he is only making 1,000 in sales. But for the purpose of understanding, let's pretend that everyone on here is doing well and the market is stable. And again, the reason I'm explaining this in so much detail is because I have seen a lot of hype videos that literally, I kid you not, this is what they do. Look at this product, it's selling 6 figures a month. All you have to do is go get it from China for $10. You're gonna get a $32 profit. That means you're making like $60,000 a month in your pocket. That's not true. There's a lot more that goes into it, and analyzing these numbers is important, but it will get easier, right? So you wanna make sure that most of the people are kind of under 500 reviews. Maybe there's one that has 1,000, but some of them should have reviews in the double digits. Because like, say this person has 78 reviews, when you go up there, you get like 13, eventually you'll get 20. 20 versus 78 isn't that dramatic, right? But if you have 78 or 20 versus everyone else that has thousands, that's eye-catching, and people they're not gonna wanna do that. So that's something you have to keep in mind. This doesn't look bad, right? Let's pretend the market is stable. You can compete with these. You can compete with someone doing 78, 153 reviews, 8, even 124. It's not bad, right? So that's not terrible. Then the last thing I look for is the price and the FBA fees right here. I just want to check for profitability. It's helpful here that Helium 10 does have this breakdown of kind of the price of the product and then the FBA fee, which includes, with Amazon, it's the shipping fee since they ship your item for you, and then also the referral fee they take, which is typically 15% of the price you list it at. And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but why Amazon is so great is because they ship the products for you. So you just have to ship them all to Amazon, they pack them up, ship them out. You don't have to worry about any of that, right? So it's really worth it to pay the fee. Some people are deterred by it, but honestly, why would you want to be a crazy person packing up boxes in your garage? You don't want to do that. So that's a really great benefit right here. You just want to cross-reference. I like to go for products a little bit higher price, above like $15, but again, this is not a black and white business model. If you find something that makes sense logically within margins, then that's okay. You just want to make sure there's enough money for you that you won't be running into cash flow issues. So right here, let's say, okay, he's selling it for $14, his fee is $5. That's an okay margin. Let's say like $7, right? That's not bad. $7, you can reinvest that into the product, you can reinvest that into your ads, you can take money home for yourself. That's not bad. So let's say that we want to do this product. What's our next step? How do we get the best price possible for this? This is how we source it. This is how we talk to suppliers. I'm gonna show you right now after I take a sip of this coffee. Okay, so we're gonna go for potato cooker. In reality, don't do this product. I just put this up because it's my first thing I thought of. There's a lot that goes into product research. I feel like after this, I'm going to make a longer in-depth product research video that I can put up here too, so you can see. But let's just pretend we're going after this item right here, which is this steak thing, right? Okay, so we found what we want to put our name on. Now it's time to actually source it from the place that does it best, which is China. And the site for that is Alibaba.com, which has thousands of factories. It's very helpful, okay? So let's say we're going with this. It looks like there's a lot of these microwavable potato cookers. So we're just going to put microwave potato cooker in here. It's very, very easy. Microwave potato cooker. And as you can see, there's going to be this exact same product popping up right here. It is so easy. In the US, it's very hard to do this because they just don't do it. You have to go and ask for quotes and emails. In China, you just type it in, you see the picture, you see the general price, and boom, that's it, right? So there you have it. The product is right here. And look at the prices too. They're very inexpensive. They're like 50 cents to a dollar, it looks like. Yeah, for one or for two, very inexpensive. So to actually source this and ship it won't be much because this product is lightweight, it's small. You can probably ship it over in an airplane via air shipping and still be fine. However, some products of course are not like this. If you're dealing with something more bulkier or large, sea shipping will take longer, but it will be way, way less expensive. Air shipping might completely eat into your margins and you're not going to be profitable. So some products, it is a little tricky because you do have to wait longer, but that's okay because that is better than not doing anything. So when you look at these prices, don't assume this exact price. This is kind of an estimate. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's completely off. So the only way to actually find out the real costs is to contact these suppliers. And how do you know who to contact? Because there's literally hundreds of them, actually. You're gonna want to go right here and look at these stats that are shown on the side. So you want to make sure that they're verified right here and that they have this little crown. So actually you can go and click it somewhere over here, right here, trade assurance and verified supplier. And if you tick these, this will automatically sort out anybody that doesn't partake in these, but basically it just gives you more credibility. So you want to make sure that's set. This will basically is a way of payment to them. It's like they hold your money in escrow when you make an order, so if they mess something up, you can get your money back, which is another safety precaution you should be taking. And then verified supplier just means they're verified on the Alibaba site. It doesn't hold too much weight, but it's good to enter it in. So what I like to do is look at these stats. I want to check how long they've been in business for, what the response rate is, and what their sales are relative to everyone else, right? So if this might be kind of a really secret niche market where people aren't really selling too much, and that's okay. Sometimes the sales might not be millions, they might all be in the like kind of like tens of thousands, and that's great because that's fine. Honestly, you just want to make sure that everyone is not doing 200,000 and that the supplier you're talking to is only doing 5,000, because that's suspicious, right? And then you want to see the response rate. I like to go for 85% and above. And the reason I don't say 100 is because these suppliers get a lot of spam, I would say, people that are kind of messing around, trying something, not trying something, things like that. So you just want to present yourself as someone credible, and then the rest of the people they don't reply to, right? So you want to do that. And you want to present yourself as a credible company when you contact them. Don't just say, hello, my name is Bob, how much for 50 potato cookers? It's not professional. You want to compose a nice lengthy message. I have templates for all of this, by the way, that makes you sound professional and credible, because they'll reply to you and there's a way of negotiating things like that, right? So that's great. All you do is you literally contact supplier, so easy. You type the message here and you click send, and they will reply to you, and that's how you communicate. There's no reason to take this outside of the platform. It's fine, just talk to them, get the quotes. You basically want to find out how much it costs. So you're gonna ask them for the MOQ prices, which means minimum order quantity. Some have an MOQ of 1,000, but if you're a student of mine, then you know how to negotiate down. And that's exactly what I teach my students, is this is how you really take this into a low risk way. There are very specific things that you can say, and oh my gosh, it worked every time. I've had people that I've hired to kind of negotiate this on my behalf, because I'm trying to outsource as many things as possible, and having back and forth conversations at 2 a.m. my time in the US, PST, isn't really as effective as someone else doing it in, you know, anywho. So And they come back to me and they say, well, the minimum order quantity is 1,000. And I say, wait, hold up, we can get it down. And they say, no, you can't, I've tried. I'm like, no, 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 say this thing to them. And literally almost every single time, unless it's a very specialty item that's actually really costly and really niche, it pretty much always works. And I'm able to get my MOQ, my minimum order quantity, down to, let's say, 200, even on some cases 100 MOQ. And that's so interesting because people preach that you have to order 1,000 units, but that's a lot of money. This product, not so much, since it's more on the cheaper side. And we're not even talking about shipping yet. We're just literally talking about the product good itself. But when you include shipping, the price is gonna spike up even higher. And some people just don't want to invest that type of capital right into their listings and into a product they've never tried before. So it's really smart to negotiate down to that lower minimum order quantity. You lower your risk so much, you feel more calm, you feel not discouraged if you fail. And that's actually how mindset works. If you're really stressed about something and you think, oh, it's not gonna work, I'm so worried, then it's not gonna work because you're worried and you're stressing and you're attracting these negative things. But if you say, you know what, this is throwaway money. No money is really throwaway money, but it's how you say it, an educated guess. It's a calculated risk money that I'm investing. But you know what? If I lose it, I learned something, and I only spent a fraction of what I was planning to do, which is what a lot of people say is get 1,000 MOQ. But now you're only getting 200, which you're reducing your cost by 80%, which is crazy, and that's what you should be doing. So my students get templates to that, right? Let's say you negotiate with them and then you ask them for shipping. Some of them do have freight forwarders, which is a person that is basically responsible for getting your product from one place to another, from China to Amazon. Some of them don't, but there are other companies that specialize in shipping, such as Forest Shipping, for example, and that's not a big deal. Shipping is actually the easiest. All you do is you tell them, like, gosh, I don't know why people make shipping such a big deal. I've seen so many videos of people like panicking over shipping. Okay, I digress from the low MOQ. You talk to them, you got the shipping. Shipping is no problem, right? So you talk to the suppliers and they're shipping your product to Amazon warehouse. Really should be a no-brainer. They should take care of everything, whether it's the supplier or the shipping company. Less headache on you. Do DDP, which means basically delivery duties paid. So you don't have a headache. You just pay for all the fees up front and you're good. That's settled, right? So now it's all about the ranking and actually getting to the first page of Amazon. How do we get here? What do you do? How do we create this listing? So here it is. Let's pretend we're doing something like he does it. So there's a lot of different components to this, right? All of these, you don't know what to put here in the title, the pictures. All of this is very, very important because the title will help you rank, and so will all the words in the keywords right here and the description, which is this right here. Now this looks maybe complicated. It's actually really easy. Within your Amazon account, once you sign up, there will be designated areas where to put these words, and that's the least of your concern. The most of your concern is knowing which words to put in order to help you rank the highest. And of course, this is also kind of coincides with your launching strategy, because to get to the first page of Amazon, you have to get as many keywords as possible on your site. So you have to be ranking for as many keywords as possible. Keywords could be microwave potato bag, washable and reusable bag, pouch cooking, any of these, right? So how do we know what they are? Like I mentioned earlier, the software Helium 10 will help you out. So let's go to their website. Remember, I have the discount code, so let's sign in. And keywords are important. We basically want to put the highest ones on the top. So let's actually go to Cerebro. Okay, calm down. Let's go to Cerebro and type in our word, which is microwavable. Let's go with microwave potato bag, right? We don't know if this is the keyword that's driving all the sales, but we can check this. We can put it in this tool, microwave potato bag. I guess it's, okay. Let's, oops, hold on, sorry. I'm not in the right, I was looking for magnet. But we go to magnet, and then here we put this microwave potato bag. The Cerebro, you can put in the your other competitors. So any of these, it will give you other keywords as well. We're gonna focus on magnet at first. So this word itself has 658 searches. We also want to sort them from highest to lowest just to see what the most important things are. Potatoes in a bag, this might not be your product, that could be actual potatoes. So you want to kind of filter through these to make sure you're collecting as many as possible that are in relation to the product. And how you do that is you basically open these things right here, this little square, and it will show you the product. So let's open this Hasselback potato slicing rack. When we open it, this is completely different. It's a completely different product. So although it might be beneficial to try to rank for this, it's not on our priority list. So for things such as the title and keywords, backend keywords, we want to really focus the ones that are of importance, like this one, right? Microwave potato bag. So what you want to do is actually make a list of the ones that are important. If you don't like it, for example, small TV, that's obviously nothing to do with potatoes, so you X that out right here. See, then it's gone. So we can gather together the words that are most important, and it goes from highest to lowest search volume, and this basically shows how many people are looking for the product. So highest search volume is obviously most important as long as it's relevant to your product. So potato and bag, when we open that, this is not our product, this is potatoes. So this is not really something we want to try to rank for on the first page because it's going to be expensive when we start bidding on these words, right? So it might take you some time to go through these keywords because you're going to have to look through pages, and you don't want to look through all the pages just until the search volume starts to get kind of low. And you want to extract these words, right? You can actually download them right here. You can export them. And then what you can actually do is go into their other tools right here. For example, Scribbles. This will actually let you compose your listing before you put it into Amazon. So you can actually put in the words you extracted over here. And this will kind of help keep track of them as you put them throughout the listing. So a good thing to put in, of course, the main ones should go in your title, and then everything else, you stuff it in your bullet points, in your subject matter, in your description, your search terms, especially the search terms. This is a good category here because you can really put the words that don't make sense here, that you don't really want the customer to see. You can just put them all right here, right? That's a good thing to do. Anything else, this you of course want to make it customer friendly. So you're not only optimizing for the relevance of the words that we just looked at, but also for how readable is it going to be. Because if it says potato bag, microwave cooker, potato cooker, it doesn't make sense. You want to put something like high quality potato bag that is microwavable, safe. So when a customer is reading it, they actually understand what's going on, right? That's kind of what we're looking for. And then of course, as many keywords as possible, we want to really disperse them throughout this listing just so we get that extra ranking juice. So when our listing actually starts to get sales, we're slowly ranked for kind of most of these words, which will in turn lead to us getting more sales, right? So say you did all this, so now you have basically this. It's really easy. It's pretty much anyone with a 5th grade reading level can compose this, which is the national average of reading is 5th grade level. So that's fine. Easy to do. Just make sure you proofread it, that there's no spelling mistakes or typos, and it actually makes sense. It's something that a customer would want to read. And now we move on to here, which is our listing images, right? This is nicely done, but it could be better. If you're a student, you know how to do this correctly. I have a module explaining this in so much detail, but let's just focus on the listing, right? So here we are, here's the listing. What do we want to do with this? So any problem that this product has, you want to emphasize in the listing. A good tip is to actually read through these ratings right here of your competitors and see what people love about the product, see what they hate. Everything they love, you want to emphasize it in infographics, such as this. See, they have written words over here. The bad thing about this is that it's kind of small. They can do a lot better of putting circles, zoom ins, make the text more easy to read, because keep in mind, people are looking at it on their mobile and it might be difficult to kind of squint and read this. So you want to make it optimized as much as possible for the viewership, because a lot of the times buyers make their decisions just by these photographs. So that's something to keep in mind and really emphasize that. And any concerns they have, like for me, safety would be a concern. For example, does this bag have any plastic in it that it's going to melt, or have any carcinogens when I microwave it? That's, even not knowing this market, that's my concern. So you can put something on here such as microwavable safe or BPA free, whatever, right? If it really is. If it's not, then don't say things like that. Don't make false claims, obviously, but see what the problems are, and when you actually talk to your supplier, also have them fix these problems, so that's gonna be easier. Now, as far as actually getting these images, the good thing is this is such a generic, unpatented product that you can probably find kind of free photos of this to use anywhere online. Just make sure they don't belong to like an actual brand that could potentially sue you or do something like that for using their images. If you have a brand on this, for example, this is just kind of your standard thing, but I can guarantee you this is 100% photoshopped, and it's just but 3 transparent images that are placed together. A good thing for this to do is to actually hire somebody who is good at photoshopping to compose this. You basically can find obviously the image of the product. Maybe you can Photoshop your brand onto it, not you yourself, unless you know how to Photoshop. You can find potatoes in a transparent image and a microwave and just kind of over, what is it called? Put them one on top of each other, right? Do that. Superimpose, that's the word I was looking for. Superimpose the images on top of each other. These things up here, the 2-pack and potato bag, this is actually against Amazon's terms of service, but they're not so uptight about it as they are about everything else. So this won't be too big of a deal. You can test your limits. Sometimes they can suppress your listing until you actually remove your things, but that's okay. So yeah, if that's the case, then remove it. If not the case, leave them on until they tell you not to do it. So now you have your beautiful, beautiful images, and that's great. You have your title, you have this. So how do you actually start getting sales, right? Because as you can see, there's so many other people that are on the first page, they're not ranked, or they are ranked, and they're getting the sales. How do you break through that barrier? Well, first you have to get a few reviews and actually continue to build them up, and then you also have to kind of run advertising within Amazon's platform for this. So let's go back to all of the other listings and let me show you how that would look like. Up here is a way to advertise, and then also right here, you see this little sponsor? This is gonna be easier than ever. This you have to have brand registry and registered with Amazon to do it, but we're gonna focus on these. This is basically the word I typed in, potato cooker. These sellers are bidding for this word to appear on the first page. Now, if your listing looks amazing, which this one doesn't really, it's kind of far, it's blurry, it doesn't look that great. It looks a little bit hazardous and not inviting. Maybe I'll make this in a pretty color. Like that's another way to stand out, right? I make this in a pretty color, let's say with flowers or something that appeals to a woman, maybe a cute pattern, and don't put all these horrible warning labels that scare people off. Maybe put something like nice and pretty, and then I'm gonna stand out. When I run the sponsored ad, someone's gonna see these creepy looking, not creepy, but like warning with this product. It doesn't really look like something I wanna eat. So maybe I'll put this in a nice green color or put a pattern on it, and then imagine when I run my ad, I'm actually gonna stand out and people are gonna see this and buy it. So an easy way to get your reviews without breaking Amazon's terms of service is actually enrolling your product in the early reviewer program, which is allowed to within your Amazon account if your product is brand new, right? So you enroll it, and Amazon basically incentivizes people to leave you a review. They pay them like $3, I believe, and those people will want to leave a review if they're buying your product anyway. So you get a few, and then you can also set up an email sequence that will send out emails to your buyers, kind of adding value, maybe sending them something such as information, and then letting them know that, hey, if you haven't left a review, so do so, right? That's how you start to build up your reviews. But when you run ads, which is called PPC ads, pay-per-click ads, you're gonna show up here. And the reason why I focus so much on market research, and there's so many components that I can't possibly get into it in this one video, but the reason why I focus on it is because you wanna make sure you're differentiated than everybody else. If you're simply just there, you're not gonna stand out because these two look exactly the same. But if I am, let's say, green and have flowers, and they are just red and not fun, then someone's gonna not buy theirs and buy mine. And that's how you really get eyes on your listing. That's going to continue boosting up your sales. It might take a few weeks, but if you differentiate enough, if you actually added value, fix mistakes with the product, then you will be able to rank. And how you set up your PPC campaigns is also not as scary as people think. Remember we talked earlier about extracting these keywords in the magnet tool? Well, you're gonna save those words and you're gonna set up campaigns within your Amazon account and give them a few days or a week to run. You can even start at low budget, like $10 to $30 a day. And if you have a good product, if you fix the problem, if you differentiate it within the market and actually is high quality, so you continue to get positive reviews, then you're going to see a return on the money you put in with your ads. And when that happens, it's going to be a positive snowball effect and you're gonna continue getting kind of more sales, more reviews. Don't go for products that are not necessarily for products, but don't go for the cheaper supplier and cut corners, because if the quality of your product is bad, that's not going to reflect good on you, and the negative reviews are going to eventually start coming in, and then your listing will get lower reviews. It's not going to rank. People are going to stop buying it and that product is going to be dead, right? But if you actually put in the time and effort to making it high quality, then that's completely fine and you will start getting the reviews. It's going to be that positive snowball effect that I mentioned earlier. So that's what you really want to focus on, is making something very high quality. And when it is high quality, when it stands out within the market, not anything crazy, but just someone can see that it's different and it's nice, then people are gonna buy your product and you can start to slowly optimize your PPC campaigns. And again, that's a whole nother video. I'll probably make another one about it, but my students have access to all the PPC optimization and everything. You basically, with optimization, is not all words, not all the keywords that you have are going to be making you sales. And if you leave it running, you could be actually wasting money. So you wanna make sure to go back, to trim down all of the fat, all of the empty words, and to invest that budget into words that are bringing you more money, right? Bringing you the actual sales. And you can see how over time this is really going to pick up and your product is going to rank. The more sales you get, the more power you're going to kind of put on the words that you put in your listing, especially in the front end, such as your title, right, which carries the most weight. All of the words that are in your listing are going to get more ranking juice. You're going to start ranking to other page ones for other keywords, and then the organic sales are going to start coming in. So not only do you have people that are seeing it from the sponsored ads, but also you might be right here on the first page, and that way you're not spending any money on the clicks. Now this is just full profit without contributing anything to ads, right? So there's a lot of different angles with this model, but I do just want you to understand kind of two things, right? One is you can do this low risk. You can test markets, contrary to what people say, you can test markets with a small minimum order quantity, which is low risk, with the actual product. So that is very, very, very important. And the second thing is also to understand, if you add value with the product, that will increase your chances tenfold of succeeding. Because so many people try to just go for a trend and say, okay, I'm gonna go for this, hopefully it does well, fingers crossed, and that's that. But in reality, those trends die. Poor quality products don't do well on Amazon. The reviews are gonna catch up, and if you're high quality, it's going to pay out more. You're going to get that positive feedback, and that's what I suggest you do. When you add value, the money comes, right? So do this the low risk way. Now there's so much information, so much more information. That's why I literally have hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel, but it's very difficult to say it all in one video. So if you want a kind of longer training that's completely free, you can actually go to theplclub.com/training, and there you will be able to kind of get more detail about these steps and things like that. I also have other resources. I have a private label club, and I do have a full course explaining this A to Z. I think it's over 12 or 13 hours long at this point. I keep adding new information to it. So it literally explains everything that you need to know. But I have many kind of resources for people at different levels. So check them down below, or you can actually, do the training. It's very, very beneficial to learn all this. So anyways, I hope you have a better understanding of this and why it's such an amazing opportunity. And I will see you in the training or in all of my other resources. I hope you have a great day.